Yes, sir. Started. Started. Got it. Uh, Coal mafia. It's something the generation after 1971.
Uncle,
The coal.
keep the mobile little away. Can't see your face. Can't see your face. Keep the mobile little away.
Is it all right?
Fantastic.
Yeah. Coal mafia, the terminology became quite well known to people after the coal mine nationalization. How come it is? Before that, the word mafia was never even used anywhere. Now, pre-nationalization of coal industry, many of these owners and the officials were indulging also not in straightforward activities. They wanted to keep somebody to protect them. Every small colliery had what they call lathi halls. Yeah, toughies with lathis going around giving protection to the mine owners and some of the officials, etc. Now, after the coal mines nationalization, their need was completely not, it was not needed. I mean, national coal sector didn't need any lathias. What happens to these hundreds of these people? Now, many of them had their names in the rolls of the company. Therefore, they became the employees of Coal India also. That is there. And they started ganging together, and the terminology of the coal mafia came. And how are they manning? Quite a few officials of the then private sector were also absorbed by Coal India.
Can't
It
see.
is
Uncle, mobile has to be kept at a distance. Don't move it.
okay. Now it's all right.
Yeah, this is better.
Is it all right now?
Yeah, this is better. Don't move it.
Okay. Okay. Can you hear me?
Yeah, please carry on. Thank you.
Yeah, that's right. So this mafia group also partly supported by some of the officials with the vested interests were trying to loot. And the other officials and other people were getting scared of them. That's how the term mafia came into the picture. Now, the leader of them was one Mr. Surinder Singh. He was in Kustur Colliery. Very interesting event, I will tell you in a few minutes. When I was appointed as chairman Coal India, people thought that I would also be scared. Now, on the third day of my taking over as chairman Coal India, I called for a meeting of more than 500 officials of that area, Bharat Coking Coal. And the meeting was held at Kustur Colliery, which was supposed to be the headquarters of the mafia. I said that I will go there and hold a meeting. My CMD and security were telling, sir, that is a mafia headquarters. I said, that is why I am going there. I addressed the mafia. The first thing I made it to my officers was that mafias are getting support of some of you. I mean, you should be ashamed of that. And if these people are taken out, I'll say there is no mafia, number one. And number two, I told them that a mafia is a bully and a bully is a coward. So long you are scared of a bully, and he will try to make merry. And the moment you treat him as a coward, things will be all right. If you have vested interest in the mafia, then I can't help. That's right. Then some of the businessmen were complaining to me that those who are genuine participants in tenders were being driven away by mafias. Perhaps with the support of some of the officials also. So I took an action immediately of shifting the tender process centers from the areas to the headquarters. I said they cannot now go and concentrate so far in headquarters concerned. This is my first encounter. And mind you, it had salutary effects. Mr. Chandrasekhar, who became the prime minister of the country later, was supposed to be a close friend of Mr. Surinder Singh, the mafia leader. So when Chandrasekhar wanted to meet me, I said, please come. At that time, he was a member of parliament. I said, please meet me without Surinder Singh. He said, why? I told him that the moment you bring him Surinder Singh with you, then it would mean the message will go that I'm trying to negotiate with Surinder Singh. I do not want that. I have already given my message in Kustu, right in his den, what I will do to them if they don't behave well. Chandrasekhar appreciated me. He said he assured me that Surinder Singh will not create any type of problem or anything. And as I told you, the mafias cannot survive without the support of some of the officials and some of the local employees. I identified them. I sacked a few of the officials, known, and I had my powers. I used that power. Some of them, others, or I shifted them to various other companies. Then this sent a message that I'm quite serious in setting things right. And that's all. So far my tenure was concerned, this mafiasm was always a thing of the past and almost came to an end. The beauty of it was that once Surinder Singh came and wanted to meet me, my reception said, I said, no, I cannot meet him. Then he said, can I at least speak to him? Then he said, I told him, okay. Then he said, sir, we hold you in regard, respect, etc. You are doing so well. I wanted to come and pay my regards and respect. I said, over the telephone you have paid, it is enough for me that I can't see. Then he said, why can't you see me? He asked this question. I said, the moment I see you, your own chaps accompanying you will say, whoa, the chairman Coal India was pleading for help from this mafia, etc. I don't want any help. You behave well. That's all what I want. They went away. I didn't see him. The surprising thing is, whole of this my term, I did not see any one of them. That is number one. But let me tell you one thing, because when I tell everything not good about people, on this Surinder Singh, I have got to say one thing good about him. He's a mafia leader. He always moves with a gun and the other thing. But he is a God-fearing man and does not start a day without praying for Kali Ma. This is known to everybody in that area. Then he is a pure vegetarian. This also it's all. And he is a pure teetotaler, unlike other mafias, who drink and do all those things. So this gave him a lot of regard and respect also from the general employees of this mine. That is there. So in short, mafiasm, now it is in a different way. What they play now is the agents who buy coal and transport by trucks, they are also involved in this mafiasm. I mean, it's getting wide, the expansion of the definition of this mafia. Well, that's right. But what about mafia? You are all talking of only coal mafia, Mr. Ahmed. What about mafia in sand? What about mafia in steel? Mafia, what about mafia in Delhi? You must know in
Dr.
Delhi
Narayan,
what type of
Dr. Narayan,
mafiaism is
we will
going on
today
now.
we will restrict this we will restrict this discussion to coal mafia only because this is the huge issue. Probably 3-4 more minutes we'll spend, and then we'll talk about sand mafia in the next show. Today, the coal mafia.
Okay.
I would like to know from you. Along.
Any question you would like to ask me on this?
See, what is the solutions? What are the 5 solutions that you propose?
Solutions are very clear. If you are clear in your mind to get rid of this mafiaism, there is no problem. I gave you an example of this. My holding a meeting with my officials at the mafia
Keep the camera in
headquarters.
front of you.
On the
Camera in front of you.
that is a solution. He should not feel that we are scared of them.
Camera in front
We
of
are-
you, sir. Sir, camera in front of you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. I'm all right. Yeah. Tell me. Can you hear me? Hello.
Yeah, please tell the solutions.
Yeah, I am holding it on my way. Now, the second point is that your own system you've got to correct. You said, how do they benefit by this thing? Your so-called tender system. In that tender system, you say lowest to 1. So if somebody is lowest, then the mafias and the local officials in connivance, they try to drive them out. That's right. And one thing of which I decided, and now also is happening, shift this area of the tender activity where the mafias can play a game away. Centralize the events of procurement. Then when you centralize the event of procurement, these individuals do not have any role to play. You see, if the management is keen, and nowadays, I don't think you hear much about mafias. I don't think so, except that the media chaps keep on playing. That's all. Yeah.
Uncle, solutions. Any more solutions you have?
No, nothing. These are all. Once mafia knows that he is recognized as a bully and therefore a coward, I think, man, what is a mafia? He's also a human being. He thought that by simply browbeating people, he can get things done. And now there is no group which can be called as mafia. It's all some individual fellows running here and there. That's all.
How about the situation today is the political bigwigs, the political bigwigs who have the police and the local administration in their control. They are basically driving it as per my understanding of the field issues. Now, when that happens, obviously there is no role at that level by the local goons, but it is now the top political bigwigs, the MPs, the ministers, even the top
You
tier of the
see,
state. Those kind of people who drive such activities.
yeah,
And these
I mean,
mafias now play
no.
their subordinates.
Yeah, Amit, you should know this, that at the time of nationalization, pre-nationalization, these latias, as I told you, were there employed by the owner to protect them and the managers. Immediately after nationalization, these fellows whom people chose to call them as mafias, started enjoying indirectly the support of those very officials who have been employed or absorbed in the coal sector. Now all those things are gone. Now the present group are all the next level, next generation youngsters who are taken over, and this so-called mafiaism organized does not exist in my opinion.
Okay, but the political aspect?
Well, the political aspect at that time was that money which they were making, the mafias, were definitely sharing with the local political leaders. But one thing I have to appreciate that Chandrasekhar ji was supposed to be very close, and that is why general view was that you also had a share, etc. But after his meeting me, he not only completely delinked himself with that Surendra Singh, so far Dhanbad area is concerned, but then there are certain local leaders who have been trying to ask for a share of money, and Surendra Singh used to act as a leader distributing some funds here and there. That's right. But now that also does not happen.
What made Mr.
Surendra Singh
Chandrasekhar
is
delete?
no
What made
Surendra Singh is no more, and many of the so-called mafia leaders are also no more. The present generation is somewhat different type, I feel.
What made Mr. Chandrasekhar delink with Surendra Singh after meeting you?
No, Chandrasekhar never. Chandrasekhar afterwards only once he had this thing. Otherwise, when Surendra Singh went and told him, requested him for some help, he said no. It is up to the chairman to take a decision. Yeah. I admire that. He never interfered in the management.
Your video is off, Uncle Narayanan.
Yes?
Video?
Pardon?
Video.
Yeah, video is there. Video is there. I wear it.
Now political leaders, there are talks about the political leaders driving such local mafia activities.
Local, when you say political leader, the local chaps, there are there, they try to sort of try to work hand in glove with some of the mafias, all those things. As I told you, now there's nothing like a coal mafia. This is what I feel. There are trade union leaders, of course, good, bad, indifferent, etc. And local political leaders, equally good, bad, indifferent, etc. Somebody involving money making, somebody working for the interest of the industry, all those things are there.
And you feel that the current government has been able to or tighten the screws on the coal mafia?
I don't think the government had anything to do either building up mafia, encouraging mafia, or liquidating the mafia. I don't think that after all the the district officials, etc., could hardly do anything. If suppose a mafia beats up a coal official, I don't think that they could do anything to stop that.
Okay, there is law and order. Law and order is a state subject. Law and order is a state subject, whereas coal is a central resource. Now, how can there be a proper coordination, or have you seen? Would you like to speak on that aspect finally? Law and order vis-a-vis the central resource.
Look at so far law and order is concerned. I agree it's a state subject. I agree it is a center has to only coordinate. What were we have the chairman, managing directors of each companies? They are supposed to coordinate directly with the district official, divisional official, and handle that. They represent the central government. That's all. And by and large, there is, in my opinion, adequate coordination between the Coal India officials on one hand and the state officials on the other hand. By and large, I'm telling, there may be exception here or there.
Which are the regions which were prone to this mafia activities the most from the coal perspective?
I personally feel, I think of late, the question of making mafia sort of making a mountain of a molehill. This is what I personally feel. There are bad characters, Mr. Amit Goenka, in all the industries. I mean, what about the iron ore industry? And as I told you, where various other industries, you are going to take up the sand also later, you said. It's spread. It's a question of what you call the traits of these local chaps. And mafiaism cannot survive without the help of some of the officials involved. This I am very clear. It's not that all the officials are not involved. And some of the officials may be indirectly backing them, supporting them.
Anand, thank you so much. This was the lovely 20 minutes talk with you on the.
Thank you very much. Very kind of you. Very
I
kind of
look forward to hearing from you on the sand issues as well very soon.
I hope the audio went off well.
Yeah, it was all fine, sir. Thank you, sir. Dr. MP Narayanan, former chairman, Coal India, the oldest surviving, second oldest, along with Sri Dr. Arun Sharma. So, Dr. MP Narayanan, thank you so much. People like you really led this country to wonderful coal resources utilization and have played a part in today where we as hear from you that the coal mafia is almost non-existent. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.